I'd just like to thank Ron Wilcox, because I've been to a number of these events over the last 2 or 3 years, and you know, Ron really represents the notion that individualism matters. He makes a tremendous difference. He makes this machine go, and that's very important, because so many people in our society are possessed with this disease that I call apathy. They don't act. They stay on the sideline because either they're afraid or they don't want to get involved. And every one of you that's here tonight, fortunately, are no longer stricken with that disease. You believe that you can make a difference, and you can. And Ron Wilcox is evidence that you can make a difference. Yes, my name is Cameron McGregor. Many of you have heard my father. I came here tonight because I wanted to speak about illegal immigration. To me, immigration may be the most important issue of our time. In fact, it may be the defining issue of our time. More so than healthcare, more so than the size of our government, for a number of reasons. There are a number of reasons why we should oppose illegal immigration. But I believe that they all subsume under one basic argument, and that is that illegal immigration betrays our national identity as a people. The United States was a country founded with common language, common culture, and common religion. That commonality became the foundation, the building block of our society. Illegal immigration represents the exact antithesis of that. It represents the destruction of that. It represents diversity, not unity. And unity builds society, not diversity. Now, I have, for a long time, seen changes in our society. And I'm only 29 years old. I'm not, I haven't been around that long. But I'd like to mention a couple stories just to solidify the importance of what's going on in this country before I finish. The first happened when I was in the Navy. I was a young naval officer, and I was serving on a ship out of San Diego. And we were having some issues in my division because there were multiple languages being spoken: Tagalog, Spanish, a whole range of different things. And so some of the sailors were coming to me and saying, well, sir, we feel as though there's divisions inside of this organization. And I said, okay, well, we should speak English, and that's it. So I immediately raised this issue with my commanding officer, and his first thought was, well, gee, I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we can mandate that people speak English and English only. It was at that moment that I realized that we were in a lot of trouble as a society. A society that cannot define itself is not a society. And that is the mix that we're in. So to our representatives on the Hill, the Republicans specifically, many of whom are trying, they're conspiring to grant amnesty because they think it is in their political interest to do so. And of course, anybody that has any common sense knows that that's not true. It is not in our political interest for these people to be given amnesty. But it is also not in the national interest for them to be given amnesty. So we must do everything we can to prevent this from passing, to prevent this legislation from going forward. Because if we can't, we've reached a threshold and we can't go back. That's why everything we do is so important and so critical. Thank you.